Hello, and welcome to this Mental Health Concierge 5-minute presentation about an important communication skill, assertiveness. I'm Richard Sethry, and I'm a psychologist. For this video, I'll explain just what I mean by assertiveness, the difference between assertive and other communication styles, and why assertiveness works better. I also provide you some tips about how to speak up for yourself more assertively. I hope that you'll find this presentation to be helpful, and that you will view other 5-minute tips on my Mental Health Concierge website. When a person has to deal with a difficult situation, such as something that is stressful, upsetting, or painful, you have a range of possible options for how you respond. The options at either end of the range of possibilities usually don't work very well. At one end, you have the passive style of responding. At the other end, you have the aggressive style. What you hope for is something in the middle range, what we call the assertive style of speaking up for yourself. The passive style usually does not work very well. You do not speak up for yourself, or you speak up for yourself so quietly or indirectly that the other person either does not get your message or finds it easy to tune out or ignore what you're trying to say. You end up feeling like others make decisions for you, you do not feel heard, and you may even feel controlled by others. Most people with the passive style feel helpless, small, and even that others treat them like a child. They also usually try very hard to avoid expressing anger, feel that anger is somehow dangerous, and end up keeping it bottled up inside. They end up feeling like a doormat. At the other extreme, the aggressive style also usually does not work well. Aggressive people certainly speak up for themselves, but tend to be too intense and angry. As a result, the other person tends to feel that you are too pushy, demanding, or controlling. Aggressive people often talk too loudly and don't give the other person a chance to talk. They may even be physically aggressive, such as by getting too close, pushing, or even hitting the other person. The other person often ends up feeling put down or even hurt by what you're saying. In the end, aggressive people often end up feeling bad about how they handle the problem. The assertive option is the best. You get to speak up for yourself, but you treat the other person with respect. You let yourself feel your anger, but you don't let it get out of control. At the end, you're more likely to feel good about how you handled yourself, even if you don't get the outcome that you were hoping for. It's important to keep in mind that being assertive is not a guarantee that you're going to get what you're hoping for, but it does increase your chances. There are several factors that often affect how others perceive assertive behavior. Gender matters. For example, women or people who are gay, who speak up for themselves more assertively than average, may be judged harshly, even though they are being respectful of others. Race matters. People from minority cultures may be called hostile things like uppity or other harsh labels if they speak up for themselves assertively. Finally, culture matters. Some cultures teach people different styles of speaking up. The bottom line is that you'll want to develop your own style that fits with your own gender, race, and cultural background. We'll now talk about some tips to help you speak up for yourself assertively. First, body language is important. It helps to face the other person, keep your head up, and make eye contact in a steady and calm manner. Don't stick your chin out or glare at the person. Try to speak in a calm voice, not too loud and not too soft. Do not apologize unless you've actually done something wrong. If you feel like your message is not getting through, it's okay to repeat yourself. Finally, to make sure that your message has been heard, you can ask the other person to say back to you what you said. You can also repeat back what you heard the other person to say. This can give the two of you a chance to correct any misunderstandings. My last suggestion for assertiveness is what I call the timeout option. If the discussion is not going well, if either you or the other person is starting to get too upset, you can ask to take a break. Of course, the other person can do this too. This can give both of you a chance to calm down, think about the discussion, and maybe even think of another option for what you're arguing about. It is important that whoever asks for the timeout take the lead in resuming the discussion. It is also important to not abuse the timeout option, such as by asking for a timeout when you just feel like you're not getting your way. For really difficult discussions, you may need to use more than one timeout, and you may even need to take a break until the next day. When a person who has been passive is learning to be more assertive, it is very common to flip to the other extreme and to overdo things. It's very hard to avoid this. It's part of learning the new skill of assertiveness. You may realize that you've gotten too intense, or the other person may point it out. The best thing to do is to apologize, back off a bit without going back to being a doormat, and then continue the discussion. Finally, if you want to become more assertive, it's important to keep in mind that you're learning a new skill, and new skills take practice. A therapist can help you with this, such as by coaching you about your skills, reminding you to use your assertiveness skills, and even doing what we call role-playing, where the therapist pretends to be someone that you're having an argument with and gives you a chance to practice. This ends my 5-minute video about assertiveness. Thank you for viewing it, and I hope that you found this information to be helpful. Also, I invite you to check out other 5-minute mental health video tips on my MHConcierge website.